Welcome. Glad you're here. I'm Jen Lepore, Marketing Team Coordinator here at CPS, and today we have Jen Smith, our Director of Quality at CPS, and she's stopping by to talk about microbial monitoring and quality assurance, the role in product safety and compliance, and how CPS applies them to ensure product integrity. So welcome, Jen.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So let's kick things off a bit. Let's give everyone a quick intro. When we're talking about microbial monitoring and quality assurance at manufacture, what are we really referring to?
Well, microbial monitoring refers to the process of assessing and controlling the presence of microorganisms in the production environment, and particularly in the products that are being manufactured.
So why would an OEM need it?
Well, powders are highly susceptible to contamination during production, especially because they have high surface areas and can trap moisture and other contaminants, which create the ideal environment for microbes to thrive. This is particularly important in food, nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals, and all kinds of powder production where microbial contamination can impact safety, efficacy, and even the shelf life of the products. It can also be important in technical grade powders, depending on the downstream application of those products.
So is it one process, or can microbial monitoring be done independent of quality assurance and vice versa?
Well, microbial monitoring is really integrated into our rigorous quality management and food safety management systems. Processors who run the programs independently run the risk of missing critical elements that really link the programs together and allow the programs to work synergistically to maximize efficiency and effectiveness.
Wow. So why is microbial manufacturing critical for industries like food and pharma and nutraceuticals?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, any type of microbial contamination can impact product safety, functionality, and shelf life. It's really paramount that products comply with health and safety regulations, such as those set by the FDA and other governmental agencies. Since the products we process are subcomponents of thousands and thousands of food and drug products worldwide, we must ensure the highest quality. And a large part of that is controlling any risk of microbial contamination.
So are there any other industries that prioritize microbial monitoring?
That's a great question. Certainly, all types of food and beverage and pharmaceutical manufacturers have strict microbiological controls and monitoring in place. But did you know that industries like medical devices, environmentally friendly cleaning products and disinfectants, and even the paint and polymer industries prioritize microbial monitoring? So, as in food, microbes can cause spoilage and break down important ingredients in a formula or a disinfectant or paint, for example, and that would render the product ineffective and useless. Medical devices must meet very stringent microbial standards since they clearly have a direct impact on a person's health and well-being.
Wow. So what ISO or other certifications does CPS have that can support this level of monitoring and quality assurance?
Yeah, certifications make sure that we are adhering to global standards that have been set by really important industry bodies and regulatory bodies. So CPS is certified to ISO 9001 2015, FSSC 22000 version 6.0. We are certified gluten-free. We are Pennsylvania certified organic, and we are also halal and kosher.
Wow. So we certainly have quite the vast and variety of types of certifications. So that's awesome. So, what is the real benefit of customers when a toll processor like CPS, offers these in-house services rather than outsourcing it?
Well, look, meeting and exceeding customer expectations is our priority. If we didn't have these well-developed programs in-house, we wouldn't be able to guarantee the high-quality products that our customers require and expect from us.
So I imagine this also has an impact on how customers feel. So how do you feel it impacts the customer's confidence?
Of course, having a robust microbial monitoring program as part of our overall quality management system is a huge driver of customer confidence. They know they can trust us to provide consistent, clean, and safe products to meet their needs and the needs of their customers.
So is there a supply chain value add as well?
Absolutely. In fact, we consider it a secret weapon in terms of our competitive advantage. Processors that have less developed or only rudimentary programs in place simply just cannot compete with the level of quality that we can offer.
That kind of is taking me into, my next question. Let's discuss a little bit about CPS's lab capabilities. It seems the process is significant in mitigating risk and maintaining product integrity. So, can you tell us a little bit as to how CPS Analytical Lab fit into this equation?
Well, we're really excited to offer newly expanded capabilities in our analytical lab. The additional instrumentation and analyses provide more tools in our toolbox for developing new methodologies for investigations, troubleshooting, and problem solving. If we have a micro issue, if we have a product quality issue, our analytical lab is right on site to be able to help us analyze what went wrong in the process and where we need to make some improvements.
Well, that's very convenient and great. So, let's get into some specifics here. So, could you walk us a little bit through a typical microbial monitoring workflow in our lab?
Sure. So let's talk first about the equipment that's necessary, for example. So the equipment would really be dependent upon the specific type of monitoring that we are doing. It can range from sterile sponges for swabbing to ATP bioluminescence to automatic samplers. So, for example, if we think about methodologies, the methodologies are also designed for the specific application. If we wanted to monitor the microbial quality of the air, we would employ either an active air sampler, which is drawing air over a media enriched Petri plate, or we might do passive air sampling, which is where we just take a media enriched Petri plate and set it in the air for a set length of time. On the other hand, if we wanted to do some surface monitoring, we would assemble all of our tools, our sterile sponges, for example, that I mentioned before, and we would swab a certain area, so a specific surface area in a specific location, and then we analyze those swabs under standard methods and look for the microbial growth, and that would indicate whether that surface was contaminated or not.
So, how is the quality assurance accounted for in these?
Well, all of the equipment and the methods require adherence to rigorous quality assurance standards in order to guarantee accurate results. The employees are trained on how to properly sample, how to properly run the tests, and how to make sure they're achieving a level of sterility that you need in order to not accidentally contaminate your sample, for example. Our results are tracked, and we also trend them to make sure that we're identifying any issues early on, whether it's an issue in the process or in the product, or it's something that perhaps it's a training issue. And then we take immediate action to address that and correct it.
Can you tell us, are there any other special challenges that arise in the microbial monitoring?
Absolutely. You really nailed it, mostly due to the sensitive nature of what we're monitoring. As I mentioned, employee technique, processes, the environment that we're operating in, these are all very critical to making sure that the microbial monitoring is on track and is really telling us what it needs to tell us.
So, do materials impact how analysis is done?
Sure, the specific product's chemical makeup will directly determine what microorganisms can grow, and therefore which ones we need to adapt our program to monitor.
How would you say CPS can adjust to meet the needs of this?
The onboarding process for each client and each product is a very concise process first to ensure that we are fully aligned on the specifications and expectations. So this is the time when we discuss not only the product risk profile, but also what we need to monitor and test for in order to ensure the product safety and quality. And then as we move through the trial and commercialization phases, we adjust our monitoring based on the data, based on communication with the customer, and based on what the process is telling us.
Oh, interesting. So, what's the end game? Like, what does the process disclose?
First and foremost, the process confirms that we've made safe, high quality products for our customers. Beyond that, the data also gives us valuable insight into any emerging trends or issues that we might need to address before it would become a problem and either impact a customer's product and or influence the environment that we're operating in.
So, how do manufacturers apply the results?
Well, many manufacturers will use microbial monitoring as part of a positive release program, meaning the test must be complete and then the results must meet specification before the product can be released.
So, do any regulatory agencies require microbial monitoring, and which ones and why?
Oh, absolutely. The primary regulatory body that we work with is the US FDA. They do have microbial monitoring requirements on multiple categories of food and pharma products. Some of these requirements are part of broader legislation, while some are just directly stated. Either way, FDA compliance is obviously non negotiable, and everything that we do at CPS fully meets those requirements.
So, from your point of view, how does CPS help customers reduce risk and improve time to market with these specialized services, such as microbial monitoring?
Well, as a toll processor, we're often just one step in the product's long supply chain. Our technical know how during the upfront discussions, as well as our robust quality and food safety management systems, ensure that the products we produce are safe and high quality. This enables our customers to further process the products without additional delays due to testing or downstream releases, which increases everyone's speed to market.
Awesome. So, I'm sure some would like to know, are there any trends or innovations in microbial monitoring that CPS is preparing for?
We stay up to date on the latest guidance and recommendations from scientific and industry experts. There's research organizations out there, there's universities, there's even governmental agencies, right? And right now, I would say rapid methods for detection and more environmentally friendly means of disinfecting, in other words, cleaning and sanitation, are two of the biggest trends right now. So, as part of our annual revalidation activities and overall continuous improvement, we make any necessary updates to our programs with what we learn in order to keep updated and current and compliant.
How do you see customers' needs evolving in this space?
We're really just one part of our customers' supply chains, and we need to be able to deliver in spec products on time to meet our customers' expectations. Customers are increasingly demanding when it comes to tighter specification tolerances, and that's probably driven by regulatory requirements and ultimately the needs and pressures from the end consumers.
So, Jen, you're the expert here. What advice would you give to manufacturers who are evaluating toll processors, specifically when it comes to their lab capabilities and how they handle the microbial monitoring?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So when looking at a toll processor's lab capabilities, it's important to ensure that the lab is accredited to an acceptable standard for your industry. And the reason that's important is because that drives standardized methods, it drives the validation and the verification of the results. If the lab is not accredited, there should be adequate formalized systems in place that would ensure the methods and results are validated and verified so that you can count on those accurate test results to drive your production and to drive what you need and your product safety. It's also important to look beyond the capabilities of the lab and review the toll processor's quality and food safety management systems to confirm that they're robust and adequate to meet your needs as well.
Great advice. So, Jen, this has been awesome, and I appreciate you stopping by. And thank you to everyone for watching this month's Custom Processing Toll Manufacturer Minute. And if you have any questions about microbial monitoring and quality assurance, our analytical lab, or how we can help keep your products safe and compliant, just reach out to our team at any time. Also, be sure to subscribe to our CPS blog to rewatch or catch up on all the podcast episodes and get the latest news and insights from our experts like Jen. And we'll catch you next time.